Uh, I really just want to mention the Big Ten, how everyone's hyping up the Big Ten and USC's roster and how how the trenches in the Big Ten are so tough and all this blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, the obvious ones, but I mean, if we look at the Big Ten year in and year out, there's a reason why only Michigan and Ohio State have ever been competitive. Even when Michigan was on the uprise with Jim Harbaugh, it was Ohio State dominating that conference with ease. I mean, really, Maryland, Wisconsin, Nebraska, those guys. I mean, I think we're really giving them too much hype than what they are because we've seen multiple times of lower teams in the Pac-12 go out there and destroy them, and now all of a sudden this year they're just the toughest thing that USC is going to ever face. I mean, I understand the trenches, USC maybe be lacking, but I think USC has a lot of talent on the back end that a lot of these teams don't have. Like we talk about offensive lines in the Big Ten, that's fine, but what about their too deep? I don't think they're too deep can go against USC's too deep when you're playing Illinois or Maryland or Minnesota. That their athletes aren't going to be able to compete. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I'm going to have to see that on the field to see that their backup O line can go against USC's backup D line. I highly doubt that. So I mean, I think everyone's giving Big Ten way more credit than what they deserve because who's been doing anything in Big Ten for the past 10 years is Ohio State. That's it. Michigan just jumped on the party, and now half their team is gone and their coaches. So I mean, why are we really? I mean, I understand those few teams in the Big Ten that are usually good, but other than that, I think USC will be able to recruit and compete in the Big Ten on the trenches. I mean, another thing, who are these offensive lines? What quarterbacks are these offensive lines protecting in the Big Ten? Who? In Illinois, in Iowa, in Minnesota, Nebraska, Purdue. What quarterbacks are they protecting? Who are we worried about? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm a USC bias, but that's all I want to say.
Well, we all have a bias. Let's not lie. But a lot of what you say is what I've been saying for a long time. And I get a lot of pushback from my Big Ten friends. And we argue about the fact, are the offenses in the Pac-12 that good or were the defenses in the Big Ten that good? And I think the answer is a little bit in between because are the defenses in the Big Ten facing the offenses in the Pac-12? And are the Pac-12 offenses facing defenses they have in the Big Ten? We are going to find a lot of that because we decided to take the best offenses in the Big Ten, minus maybe Arizona, and throw them into the Big Ten and see how the Pac-12 teams are going to do. And I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I do think that good offenses still have a way with good defenses. And so I think that we will see, because look, it's not like Ohio State, who has a very good offense, is having difficulty, Matt, putting up points on the board and putting up yards against these vaunted Big Ten defenses.
Early in the show, we had some people in the chat saying, wait, how is USC going to go from being Charmin soft in 2023 to being tough and physical in 2024? Well, first off, woof, woof. Start there. But secondly, Lincoln Riley has pledged and doesn't guarantee success, but he has at least claimed that, I was too much of a finesse-oriented coach these past few years, going back to Oklahoma. I need to change my style, my modus operandi. We need to have a thicker, more muscular, more physical football team. So there has been, at least outwardly in terms of what's being said and what USC is trying to do, a move toward a more physical style after the speed D finesse-oriented model of the past 2 years. So how can USC become physical? Better coaches, different coaches. And let's remember, this isn't just a trench thing either. I mean, it starts in the trenches, but Taylor Mays, he's on the staff. And remember, there's no more limits on the coaching. No more limits on coaching. Taylor Mays can be with this team on the practice field, in the stadium on game days. Taylor Mays coaching that secondary is going to stick people. So USC has the coaching to become a physical team this year.
And Matt, I was going to say that to you. Yeah, you brought it up. It's not just one level of football. We can never give Coach Henne enough credit because I love that guy. He's awesome. He's going to be huge for USC. But, you brought up Taylor Mays. I literally, as he was talking, I wrote down Taylor Mays and Matt Entz because you think both those guys aren't tough as nails. They're instilling the defense. And I don't know enough about Doug Belk, but I'm going to guess that, he's a Saban disciple. I'm pretty sure he knows a little something about toughness. So mental and physical. So how are we going to change well, look at the starters. You guys, on day one in LSU, try to go, if you guys know USC's roster from last year, take a look and see how many starters from last year. I don't mean backup Trojans. Like, I'm not talking about, Rajon Davis that might evolve here through camp, that might be on the field. I'm saying, look at the number of starters from last year that will be starters this year. And also, then when you start talking about the starters from last year, I mean, I can't wait. And I think Gabe from Trojan Blade actually brought up to this point. I want to see talk about Matt Entz. I want to see what Matt Entz does for guys like Cobb, right? And see how he changes his game and his play. But there's no doubt that this team is going to be tougher at all. I mean, I can't wait to see Mason Cobb. I mean, these guys were great at other schools, came here, and Matt throws. I hate using that word soft because even in a losing season, I will never call a Division I football player soft, because those dudes do things that most guys would kill most people that are on the internet. But I get the mentality might have been a bit soft. So that's where I will agree. And I think that they've made those changes to the coaching staff, a different mentality on and off the field.
And it's less about individual players. It's the collective. The collective was soft. Like, you don't have to single anyone out. Just the whole product was soft.